Hey, what is going on, everybody? What is up? It is real time with Dr. Prince Blue. And if you're new to this channel, hello, I'm Dr. Prince Blue. But listen, this episode is going to be an episode that's about accountability. It's about fitness. It's about coddling. And it's about finding out who are your real friends, who are your real family, and who really has your back. And we're going to talk about this with a man that is, well, he needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. We're talking about my man, Alan. If you don't know who Alan is, you're going to find out who he is. He's one of those no nonsense, hard nosed chargers when it comes to fitness and nutrition. Him and his wife have this lovely business. They created this app that just has gotten people wonderful results with their weight loss, with their mental health, with their addictions to food, everything. We're going to run the gamut. We're going to talk about the fitness side of social media, the coddling, the panderers, the body positivity movement, how that was hijacked by fat people. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to do it in my brand of accountability and my brand of just giving you the raw and the real. All that and more coming up on Real Time with Prince Blue. Let's go.
Real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, Prince Blue. Real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, real time, Prince Blue. Talk that, talk that, talk that, coach, coach, talk that, talk that, talk that, coach, talking entertainment too. Look, we are not the same as you. Look, we don't need a thing, just you. Just making sure the gang come through.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Listen, you know, we always start off this show the same way we do with everybody. We give this person their flowers, and this person deserves his flowers because, like I said, him and his wife are doing wonderful things in the fitness community. I call him one of the OGs of fitness. He was over there on YouTube raising hell, and now he's on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else raising that same hell and getting results. So let's talk about it. This week, we're going to sit down with my man, weight loss coach, author, app developer, and founder of Hunger Free and Happy, Alan Roberts. Known for his direct, no-nonsense approach to fat loss, Alan has built a following by challenging popular diet myths and focus on what actually works: sustainable habits, caloric deficit, metabolic health, craving control, and evidence-based nutrition. So, if you're tired of fad diets and conflicting nutrition advice, this is the episode for you. If you're a person that doesn't like accountability or being told that they're fat, need to get in shape, this is still the episode for you. So without further ado, let me introduce my man, Alan Roberts. What's up, AR?
What's going on, man? Thank you. That was a nice intro. And thank you for being brave enough to have me on. I don't get invited on many podcasts.
Well, and listen, Alan, that's the thing. When I first started this podcast, I went for people that, you know, like you said, the people that don't get invited. I don't know why you won't get invited. Well, we're going to find that out pretty quickly because you don't play any games. But I've talked to people with 500 followers, 800 followers, you with close to 200,000 across social media platform. But for some reason, believe it or not, it's the small accounts that never want to show up. Like they big time me. They be like, they'll leave me on read, or they'll say I'll do it, and then they'll ghost me. So I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know, man. The way I view it is we obviously all love to talk, and I think that there's this thing for a lot of people in the fitness world, a lot of people just in general. A lot of people don't do well live. It's one thing I've always kind of prided myself on. For many years, I just did live.
Mhm.
Uh, for the last after the COVID pandemic started, I really just did lives instead of made videos because I used to make a lot of sit down edited videos. And when COVID hit, I really didn't have time. Our coaching business was going crazy, but also I was receiving hundreds of death threats a week. So uh, it was just like a very busy time. So it was easier for me instead of doing all the stopping and editing of videos. I would just pick a topic, make a thumbnail, and go live. And one of the beautiful parts about when you know what you're talking about is you can just speak live on a topic. I don't need to question. I think a lot of people get worried about how they would either present themselves or if they can keep up their character. And I've said this many times, but unfortunately for me, sometimes this is actually just who I am.
Mhm.
Sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble, and other times it's just because I think people like I've had the same issue where people I'm like, well, let's have a live conversation about it. And they're like, oh no, not live. Let's record it. And then I want editing thing. I don't edit anything just about. I've recently gotten back into making Instagram and Facebook videos just because Instagram has recently allowed me to start posting again.
Mhm.
Because I wasn't even allowed to post for a couple years. But it's I think that that's might be why you see that, especially if you're looking at fitness people. A lot of these fitness people just play a character. Like a lot of
Mhm.
them aren't actually who they in anywhere close where they read who they are. Then a lot of them don't speak. Basically, I call it speaking from the hip. We were in the green room earlier, and you said I ask away because I will if I know about it, I'll speak on it. If I don't, I'll normally be like I don't know enough about it. But that's probably why that happens. It happens to me fairly often too. Like some of the bigger creators I've had on my show, they just show up. I've had you know uh, we had a Pfizer whistleblower talk at a point in time. We've had large people talk to us. Jesse Kelly, a few other people, but some of the smaller accounts, it's oh no, thanks, no, I don't like doing lives, and I think that that's kind of just indicative of our society. Our society is extremely fake, very orchestrated, type people.
Yeah. And Alex, let's talk about your background, because your background is so unique, man. Because, and this is me, you call it ignorance, you call it whatever. What brought me to your what brought you to my attention was when you talked about you had an addiction to food, you had a binge eating disorder, and
Yeah,
it blew my mind because a man saying that he has a binge eating disorder is just unheard of. Because me and my innards, when you hear binge disorder, you think of gymnasts, you think female
yeah,
gymnasts, you think of supermodels, you think of
mhm.
celebrities, who try to get skinny, or just teenage girls. You think of that when you talk about binge eating disorder and things of that nature. But for you as a man, um, to talk about that, and talk about, please, can you talk about that, how you came to that type of diagnosis, and how'd you slim down, man? Because you made a video where you was like, I was a biggin and I hated that guy, and looking at you now, man, it's like night and day. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, man. So first of all, I think what you're thinking about is binging and purging. A lot of people who are in athletics and stuff like that, they binge and purge. I never purged, luckily, but I definitely was a binger. I would eat hundreds and hundreds of thousands of calories in a year, but I could sit down and eat 3 or 4 thousand calories just extra. I
Wow.
always call it it was like watching a movie of myself eat. I couldn't stop myself. It just food was just getting shoveled in, and then when I entered YouTube. YouTube, I'm very lucky I have the wife I have because YouTube really fucked me up. Where when I first started YouTube, I was in the healthcare industry. When I first started, I was a healthcare executive. I ran the nutrition departments of hospitals, skilled nursing, assisted living, CCRCs, rehabilitation centers up and down the United States, up and down the East Coast. And I traveled a lot for work. but I've always been an athlete. Like when I was younger, I was a pretty gifted athlete, naturally gifted, very good at gymnastics, stuff like that. And I've always been pretty strong for my size. And I just as I got older, I didn't do the stuff that like involved too much jumping anymore. But I started doing a lot of weightlifting, and I really liked it. And I was pretty strong. I was the strong guy in the gym, right? And when I started YouTube, it was because I basically was just kind of starting it as a joke. My wife and I were trying to think about what we were going to do after our son, got out of high school. And I honestly like was just like, I'm sick of traveling because I traveled a lot, like, thousands and thousands of miles a week for my job in healthcare. And, she was already doing all of this. Like she was already personal trainer, group fitness instructor, yoga instructor, those sorts of things. And, you know, I was like, well, I could do that too. And like, we could possibly make a little bit extra money because I'm kind of like, I got a pretty sarcastic, funny wit to me, and I could just start making YouTube videos. Right. And it was a joke. Like it started off literally as a joke. Right. And I started making YouTube videos. And again, I was like doing like the roasting comedy, kind of like I do now, but just a little bit more comedy based. Right. And it just took off, like really, really well. And then we started coaching people once I lost weight, because the biggest problem I was having is like all of a sudden the notoriety and people liking and clicking, and I would still video myself working out and doing squats and stuff like that. And I was squatting close to 600 pounds in the gym multiple times a week. And as an old man, because I was in my like 40s when I was doing this, right? Because I'm going to be 55 this summer, and
That's crazy.
like yeah, and people were like, holy shit! Like so, the more I ate, the stronger I got, the more I could lift, the more people watched, right? And I let my eating disorder, my binge eating disorder, I let it convince me that I just needed to eat more food because then I would get more money, then I would get more notoriety.
Wow.
And I had like a very good gift of recovery. Like I could work out one day, I could do legs one day, very, very hard, fully recovered by like the next day after that, doing legs again, like just crushing it. Right. And all of a sudden I woke up one morning and I was just like, I am so fucking sore. I can't even take it. Right. Like it's amazing. And then the next day I woke up and I was just exhausted, like exhausted, exhausted. And I looked at my wife and I was like, I don't think I'm sleeping well. And she looked at me dead in the face. She's like, you think so? She's like, you're snoring so bad. I can't even get over it. Right. And I noticed a few other things. Like I was having to hold my breath to tie my shoes, shit like that. And I hadn't like, in my mind, I was this big, strong ox of a person who people loved hearing me rant, rave, and make jokes. Right. And because nobody said shit about my weight. Nobody, I wasn't even like a few people would call me fat, but I called me fat. There's no big deal, right? But nobody said shit to me about my body or my weight. Basically, because I still like while I was fat, I was a big man, like a big man, 300 pounds, and nobody said shit to me about my weight really. And then I like she sat me down one day and was like, don't you want to spend a long life with me? She was like, you're eating yourself to death. Changed that fucking day. Like that fucking day, I started changing my life. I was already enrolled into a powerlifting competition, which would have not only been my first powerlifting competition, but my gym lifts were going to break some records, like for my age bracket, right? And I dropped out of that. We changed everything up. I sent her a picture of everything I ate before I ate it to make sure I wasn't binging, and I lost a considerable amount of weight before I even like started doing the social media thing, and then I lost weight down to like 280, and then I lost about 100 pounds in like 9 months online.
Wow.
Um, and I did it the very, very, very bad way. I ate the same thing over and over and over again. It wasn't really a sustainable lifestyle. And she basically helped me put together this very sustainable lifestyle. We called it the hunger management method. And then it kind of morphed into our next book, because we've written multiple books now. But our last book for weight loss was called Hunger Free and Happy. And made an app out of it. I sat down for about a year, and you know, I coded an app for this, and it's on Google Play Store now. We're trying to get it on iOS. iOS is a pain in the fucking ass, but it's been an interesting ride. Um, we had kind of like not a hiccup, but we had kind of like a thing in 2020 when the COVID pandemic hit, because I was just not. I mean, I worked in healthcare. I helped write disaster policies for multiple counties in the United States, like outbreak disaster policies, right? And I was just like, this is why are we doing this crazy shit? Like it's a cold, like it's bad cold for some people, but I said a few things I think upset quite a few people and did not follow along the narrative. So there was weird stuff with that. That's why I haven't posted much on Instagram and Facebook. And you said I'm on TikTok. TikTok does not allow me to post. Just so everybody's clear. I've had
You're off TikTok?
I have an account, and I try to post every video on there, and it only lets me post like one or two of maybe a month. But I've had like I think it's 13 or 14 accounts on TikTok. I had one where I went viral for making a joke about Lizzo eating like dunking Oreos into milk, and that one got to like 140,000 followers, and then they literally just deleted it. And then I had another one that got like 50 or 60, and they just deleted that one too. I stopped trying to post on there.
Yeah, if you talk about their favorites, they get rid of you.
Yeah, well, it's like some woke ass bullshit over there too. I'm actually surprised that Instagram lets me say the shit I'm saying now. I really am, because I thought they were very wokey for a long time. So, but I'm actually pretty happy with what's going on there, and I'm happy to be doing videos again about like the fitness, other people in the fitness industry, because that's where I really started, and I made like kind of my bones off making videos, like comedy videos about the fitness addict. I was the first person to really point out V-Shreds was a complete piece of shit. Like, I mean, just so everybody knows that wasn't Scotty K Fitness. Scotty K Fitness, if you want to look back, by the way, and he blocked me for saying this, but he's a fake character that basically is copying other people's work.
Wait a minute.
Did.
AR, is that the caterpillar mustache dude?
Guy?
Yeah. He was one of those woke grifters that got off on talking. He was so inclusive and all this stuff, and then got his feelings hurt, and he doxed the kid.
He got his feelings hurt because somebody said he looked like a gay character, and then doxed the guy. Doxed the guy and made fun of his disability, like doxed the guy's entire family.
If you're so inclusive, why is that an insult? But we digress. Go ahead.
I do find it kind of funny that he bitches about V-Shreds being fake and playing a character and copying other people's work when he's a fake character copying my work. Because that's the truth. Like, and if anybody doesn't believe that, just go to YouTube and type in Alan Roberts V-Shreds, then you'll see everything that bitch has ever said about V-Shreds come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a deniable thing, But I enjoyed making those comedy videos, and then like I said, I did lives for a while, and I just kind of talked to my audience and ran my coaching business. And now that I'm back doing videos more, I like kind of shocked to see how many V-Shreds there are. Like, most of these people are V-Shreds. Most of these people basically appeal to the weaknesses of their audience to try to make them feel okay. They try to make them feel like it's not actually their responsibility or their fault for something. And then they try to milk them for money. Like, V-Shreds had this thing where it's like, you're having a hard time losing weight, take my 3 body type quiz. And, off my 3 body type quiz, we'll be able to determine your best workouts. Right. And now it's like these people will openly state like, hey, like, it's okay if you're fat, you deserve dignity. People need to absolutely show you respect no matter what. And like, my thing is like, show your self-respect first, and then I'll respect you. Like, I show respect to morbidly obese people that are trying. Like, if you're actually trying, you got my respect. I'll help you with everything I can. I give free information every fucking day. But if you're just one of these people that wants to tell a fat person they're okay, like, I've actually seen a few of them say like, you can't tell if a person's healthy by looking at them. Are you fucking out of your minds?
I saw
like,
that. I saw that video.
That's insanity. That's insanity. Like, first of all, I mean, this just comes from a healthcare perspective, right? Now, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but the first day of med school, they talk about physical assessment, like visual physical assessment. That's the first day of fucking med school. And like, so you're telling me we can't tell if a person has type 2 diabetes by looking at them if they have like basically a ring around their neck that's darkened, their knuckles are darkened, they have a massive visceral fat deposit in their belly,
lipedema,
they have lipedema, stuff like that. Like, you're telling me you can't tell this? Like, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you're clearly saying this just to appeal to people that don't want to think that they've done anything wrong. And I get it. Like, I've been fat. It sneaks up on you, especially when the food is like addictive as fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you tell these people that they're okay or that it's not their fault, like, it's very, very important that a person that is trying to lose 100+ pounds realize that they fucking did it to themselves. Like, it's very important that they realize that they did it themselves, because that's the only way that they can realize that they can change it too. And that's another thing I find them all doing. Like, I've had so many people come at me and be like, well, here's my client. This client did this transformation. My client did this. My client did that. Like, your client did that. You didn't do that. Like, I only use my transformation photos. Like, I don't use any of my clients' transformation photos. I've helped people lose 300+ pounds, like multiple people, many.
AR, let me ask you something real quick, because I see a lot of videos, because my algorithm shows me that Give me, well, I don't have to tell you to give me your honest opinion because you're going to give it.
Yeah, yeah.
When a lot of these influencers show these transformations, are they real people? Are they real clients?
Um, there's a lot of them that are using AI nowadays, from what
They
I
look like
understand.
stock photos to me.
And a lot of them use other people's transformation. Like I know of multiple people that have had their transformation photos stolen by people like V Shreds or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I do think that especially a lot of the bodybuilding guys, like
Mm-hmm.
this is my bodybuilding client. He went from, like 25% body fat to stage ready, and I got him there. That's great. And I think most of those are true, just because it's very easy to track down that person. But if it's
Mm-hmm.
just like some mom who's lost 150 pounds, like she might even not even know you post this shit, so it's easy for you to say it. But
Yeah.
there's also the reason, I've helped my wife and I have coached thousands of people to lose weight, and I mean literally thousands over the course of the last 10 years. And I don't use any of their transformation photos. The reason being is the most important reason being is it's very important that they take ownership of that transformation. Like if they've lost 100, 150, 200, 250 pounds, they need to know that they did it. They don't need to think that I did it. They paid me a sum of money for me to hold them accountable and me to give them the best advice I can situationally for them individually, right? Like I talk to them weekly through video conference. Every single week we talk to all of our clients that sign up for the video conferences. Like some people just don't want to, like they don't show up every week, but we talk to our clients via video conference, and we talk about their week. And if everything's going good, we just say, hey, focus on this, and they go on. If they hit a sticking point, we give them a little bit extra homework. Let's work on this instead. Let's make these alterations, and we go from there. The idea is we set them up with a very sustainable lifestyle. But I'm just providing information, right? I'm just providing like what they paid me for. They're the one that has to be hungry. They're the one that has to deal with the cravings. They're the one that has to deal with the sleep. They're the ones that has to deal with the hydration. They're the ones that has to deal with all the changes that their body's going to go through. So it's super important that they understand that they did it, because that's what's going to help them keep the weight off too. If they think I did it for them and then they stop coaching, you know, for whatever reason, they're going to like they're not going to realize that they did it. And that's the important thing. When these coaches steal, especially large weight loss clients, when they steal they basically steal the person's transformation to make it their own for marketing purposes. I find that fucked up. I find it truly fucked up.
So
That you're totally exploiting your client. Like, totally.
so let me ask you this. When Because a lot of these, sometimes when I listen to some of these people, they'll do stuff like this, like, and maybe this is just me. So help me understand this, AR. Like, I'll see a fitness guy and he'll be like, "Look, um, you don't need 6 days a week. You need 3 days a week. You need to slash your calories like 200." Sometimes, and I may be wrong, AR, help me. Sometimes I feel like they want you in this ever in the cycle of needing them. Because for me, I can do 6 days a week. So why can't I do 6 days a week? Why can't I work out 6 days a week? Why does it have to be 3 days a week? I promise you guys, they all from New England for some reason. I promise
Mm-hmm.
you guys, it's not going to be sustainable if you try to do 6 days a week. Well, I can. So why can't I do that? I want to get this weight off me as fast as possible. Do you understand what I'm
So
saying with that part?
I I do, but here's the thing. Like it depends on what they're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it depends on the area. Like we suggest everybody is physically active every single day forever, and that's why you should choose an activity that you like to do that you are going to be able to repeat at all times, no matter what. That's why for most people, especially starting out at a larger weight, the first thing we would suggest is swimming, just because it's the safest possible activity that can be repeated. If you have access to a pool on a daily basis, you should use that pool on a daily basis. You can get a lot of good activity without putting any pressure on your load bearing joints. Next would be walking. You can a lot of people that have hundreds of pounds to lose, we just have them start walking every single day. We've even had some clients before where like walking hurt them. They were so big that walking hurt them. So we would just have them stand up for an extra 20 or 30 minutes an hour
Wow.
because they spend most of their day sitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the person's willing, that's great. My thing is always like if it's a gym workout, like gym workouts actually shouldn't be the thing that people depend upon to manage their weight. If it's
Correct.
about their fitness, if it's about like gym goals and stuff like that, you should make sure you're getting proper recovery and everything like that. But if it is about like just like your long-term health and activity, that needs to be done every day. The body should be moving every day. We evolved to be hunters gatherers and things like that, things of that nature. very to incredible degree, we're in a massively sedentary population in America. 100 years ago, people were on their feet probably 6 or 7 hours more a day than what they are now. I mean, when you think about people in today's world, the vast majority of people are in bed for like anywhere from 8 to 10 hours. They get like 8 hours, like 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and they're in bed for about an hour, hour and a half to an hour beforehand. So they are in bed for 6 to 10 hours or 8 to 10 hours. Then they wake up, they basically walk to the kitchen, they get a cup of coffee or whatever. They get in their car. A lot of them just get in their car and then drive through a drive through. So they've sat down and laid down now for, you know, 12 hours, 14 hours. They get to work. They are at a desk for another 6 to 8 hours. They barely get up and move. And then they get back in their car. They drive home. They might be on their feet for an hour or two to do some house chores and maybe like cook themselves food if they don't get food in, and then they sit down and watch TV. Like they're on their feet for less than a couple hours a day. That's
Yeah.
why when people talk about 10,000 steps in a day, people try to like people act like it's this huge, massive accomplishment. When 10,000 steps in a day is like really something that you should just kind of achieve through your daily activity, you know? And if you're not, like I've had people be like, I can't, 10,000 steps a day is a lot. Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, I mean, like that's not a lot of steps, really. Like when you think about like how you should be up on your feet most of the day, your bodies are designed to do so. And the less you're on your feet, the longer, like the less your body will be able to. But if a trainer is telling somebody that they shouldn't be walking every single day, that's fucking crazy. Like,
Hmm.
like that is them just like trying to either baby or coddle or whatever the person. It's the same thing like when people are like, well, we don't want to feed you too little. Like the person's 300 fucking pounds, and as long as as long as they're not passing out, like we're good. Like make sure they get enough protein, they get enough fat, and they get enough vitamins and minerals. They're micronutrients. But I had somebody argue with me today. There was a comment on my Facebook where some guy was like, "I've lost 100 and some pounds. I've been focusing on 900 calories a day. I know it's not going to be sustainable, but that as I'm just focusing on protein and stuff like that." He was like, "And I needed to lose like X amount of weight, hundreds of pounds, right?" And I was like, "Great job." Somebody was like, "You're saying it's a great job. He's eating 900 to 1,000 calories a day." I'm like, if he's getting his protein, he's getting his fat, and he's getting a multivitamin, and he can sustain it for at least a little while, and he's not binging. Fucking great. I don't personally put people on that low. We give people a range, and I really try not to go below like 1,400 calories ever for a male. I mean,
Hmm.
our normal male range is somewhere between like 1,700 and 2,300. But especially if you're a short statured female, that's another thing I see all the time too. I see all these women like, you're not losing weight because you're eating 1,200 calories. That's why you're not losing weight. Like that's the dumbest fucking shit ever. Like,
Thermodynamics.
it's the dumbest shit ever. And any person that ever says anything like that should just shut the whole
Well,
fuck up.
why are
And then
those videos out there where they're like, you're not gaining? No, they'd be like 1,200 calories. They'll show the person like with no weight on. Then they'll be like 2,400 calories. Then the person is cut up, and I'm like, huh?
yeah,
Like calories in, calories out, calories in,
yeah.
calories out.
That's because they're V-shreds. Like they're trying to tell these people you can eat more and you can like V-shreds did that before. Like there was a whole fucking thing of him eating like drinking soda, eating Kit Kats and pizza, and saying like this is what I eat to be shredded. Like it's like that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many V-shreds now. Like and sadly a lot of the younger women I see on Instagram, they're the ones talking about like you're not losing weight because you're eating 1,200 calories. You need to eat more. You're in starvation mode. Like anybody
There's no
that ever says
starvation
any
mode.
says something about starvation mode literally is a fucking idiot.
Run,
Like
just run. Don't give them your money. There's no starvation mode.
I always say this: if you think there's a starvation mode, if one of your clients or you are in starvation mode, go to the fucking hospital now. Get some genetic testing done because you hold the key to solving world hunger. Billions of people are going to be saved by you. Like if you can manage to not eat and not lose weight, like you hold the key to solving world hunger. There are little children dying today that you could save. It's just insane to me. Like
So
the fitness industry has only gotten worse. It's sad.
so let's talk. So let's get on the fitness industry. What are AR? Give me three of the things that really pisses you off about fitness. Social fitness on social media right now. Your top three things.
Basically, the anybody that plays sappy music Like it's one of my things. Like if all of a sudden they're like looking to the camera and you hear this like
The
sappy music in
violin.
the background. Yeah, like I know you're feeling bad about yourself, and I know this is happening. Like do you realize how fucking marketing driven that shit is, right?
Yes.
Like they are literally trying to put your brain into the a state where you're like thinking that they're super sympathetic for you. If they've got to plan that shit out to the point where they're picking out music, they're not that sympathetic for you. They're just selling shit to you. That's one of my pet peeves. Anybody that does that, anybody that like looks into the camera like there's like the and I know this is fucked up. This is going to piss a lot of people off, but all the men's mental health months, people like in the fitness, like it's Men's Mental Health Month, and for those other men that have struggled, I'm here with you. Like, shut the fuck up. That's like I'm sorry, but I'm a Generation X person. You know what your feelings are, what you're supposed to do with your feelings. You're supposed to put that shit in a box, bury it really fucking deep, and throw it in the very back of your fucking brain, and shut the fuck up and suck it the fuck up. You're a man. So that was bad this past month. But I think the thing that's bothering me the most is just one of the, and I've noticed it in the last 2 weeks so much. The incredible number of people that are on a weight loss journey, that are on social media right now, that are just focused strictly on like I can run a mile in X amount of time. Watch me do these really hard gym workouts.
Or the
Watch me
big
do
fat
this.
guy that's boxing in the gym.
Yeah, like there's that shit. It's this big comeback. Like, if you're on a weight loss journey, and I mean this, I made a video about this earlier today. I truly mean this. If you're on a weight loss journey, the journey is your fucking food. If you're not showing your food, I don't take you fucking seriously
Take a picture.
at all. Like,
Take a
take like
picture. You're a big
if you want
advocate
to,
of that.
well, if you want to share your journey with your online audience to make money off of them, like actually share the fucking journey. Your gym workouts, or you walking a 5K like Ethan Bernard, like you struggling to walk a 5K. That's not your journey. Your journey is that you're face fucking yourself with food every day. Like that's your journey. Like, show that shit, because that's the shit that will hold you accountable. Like if you want your audience to believe you that you're trying really hard, show all your food. Because if you show all your food and then all of a sudden you step on the scale for your weigh-in Wednesday or whatever the fuck it is, and you don't lose any weight, they know you're lying. But like when you just like, yeah, I'm in a deficit, and like you don't lose weight, then you're not in a fucking deficit. Like, this isn't rocket science. It's this weird thing where like I saw one dude not too long ago, or one, it was a girl. She's like, you know, how fast can I run a mile at 329 pounds? Like, I hope you're not running at all at 329 pounds as a female. Like, that's whoever told you that was a good idea is a fucking idiot, because you're going to hurt yourself, and then you're going to be laid up for months. You're gonna blow out an ankle, blow out a knee, or you're gonna hurt your lower back, you're gonna hurt your hip, you're gonna break a bone in your foot, because at that big, running like that could break a bone in your foot very, very easily. You're gonna be laid up for weeks, if not months, because being fat makes it harder for that shit to heal. Because for it to heal, you actually have to put pressure on it, and then you have a lot of pressure because you're big. You obviously have a problem with food because you're 200 pounds or 150 pounds overweight, so you have a problem with food. Now you're going to be sedentary, depressed, and going to food. So likely you're going to gain more weight. So it's completely uh, conflictory, type of thing to do. Like, you are doing something that is against your best interest, because just because you're trying to get clicks and likes doesn't mean it's safe for you. Like, I saw one guy doing like 100-yard 474-pound 100-yard
I
dash
saw
with
that
time.
video.
Yeah, it's slow. Like, we're very, very aware it's fucking slow. Like, and it's dangerous for you. Like maybe show your fucking food. It's that easy.
So Eric, let's talk about Ethan, and to the people that be like, you should never talk about people that's not here. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, they're on social media. Their life is out there, so they're open for critique. Ethan is somebody who's caught your ire and a lot of the accountability fitness side of IG, because he's been on this fitness journey. He lost the first 200, then after that, he's the only person with metabolism that he's in a deficit, but he's not losing weight, and he's working out. He's not losing weight. He's connected with I Am Peach Fit, and the whole thing is just one big mind. You know what? And like people like him, they're reaching out. You got, I call them the Avengers, the Kotlin Avengers. You got Jimmy Capola. You got all the rest of them. Then you versus you and Runvus and all the other smaller creators that's like, yo, this is not good. Like, this guy is lying to you. This guy is literally binge eating when he's away from the camera. He's a mukbang. Then you got the one with the big tits that you be arguing with. He's a mukbanger, and these people are literally paying these people to kill themselves slowly. So talk about people like Ethan and the other guy that are on these fitness journey, and it's really just for clicks and engagement. They're really not doing anything.
So, and I don't mind people getting clicks and engagement. Shit, that's what we're doing right now. Okay.
Right.
But the thing with Ethan, like, the claim is he's lost 200 pounds. I'm just going to say this, I'm not saying he's lying, but I've seen no evidence that he's lost 200 pounds.
I'm not saying he's lying, but I don't think
Well,
it's true.
I don't know if it's true because here's my thing: if you weighed 660 pounds and now you weigh 440 pounds, why don't we ever see that side by side? Are there no pictures of this guy at 660 pounds? Like, I have a hard time believing that. I just do, right? Um, so, and it would be different if he isn't lying about other things, like if he's not dishonest about other things, but he is being dishonest about other things. Therefore, I have no reason to believe him about that. I'm not trying to shit on this guy's journey. If you've lost 200 pounds, that's great. I mean, you still have 200 more pounds to lose, and you're stuck. But I think that just sitting on the laurels of I've lost 200 pounds, when again, I have not seen any proof that he was 660 pounds at all. Um, I got nothing against Ethan. I wish him nothing but the best. He is lying though. Like, I mean, and here's my thing, and people get very upset when I say this, but people that have problems with food, that have food addiction or stuff like that, just like any other addict, they lie. I mean,
Yes.
I have hidden more fucking candy bar wrappers from when I was fat as fuck. It's just thing. And to be real, and this is to defend Ethan and other people like that, they lie to themselves.
Mhm.
Like, Ethan might think like, well, I'm in my deficit because I'm not counting the 3,000 calorie binge I had last night. I'm just counting the food I was supposed to have. He never really shows all of his food, which again, my advice to everybody that wants to share their journey: share all your food. And Peach Fit, the guy he's hooked up with, apparently he's lost about the same amount of weight I have. By the way, I've just kept it off longer. I lost about 130 pounds, which he claims too, right?
Yeah,
I
AR,
would have.
eh,
Well, I'm not going to question it because he looks like. I mean, I do think that he weighed. I mean, I
yeah, but
to him, he looks
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
So,
I'm just
but
saying
uh,
you look
I,
pretty.
I was
You
big, so
look it more.
yeah.
I'm just
But
gonna leave it at that.
I don't know. I can't say this. He's a horrible coach, like horrible, in my opinion, of course, in my professional
Cue
opinion.
the
Uh,
violins.
um, and because if he wasn't a horrible coach, he wouldn't be on camera saying like to Ethan, "Well, yeah, you were in your deficit all week, right? Last week, right?" And Ethan's like, "Yeah." Like, I'm sorry, but like a coach would be like, "Well, then why didn't you lose weight?" Like, and I understand there's hydration issues going on with Ethan,
Yeah.
but dude hasn't lost weight in about a year, right? Or about 6 months at least. It's really time for somebody to sit him down and be like, look, this is not about clicks, likes, anything like that. In fact, I have an open offer to coach Ethan for free for 6 months, as long as neither of us would ever speak about it online, ever. Like, I mean, and I actually am doing that for a person already, that I made a video or two about, and she reached out to me and said, "Okay, I'll take you up on the offer," and I'm done talking about it.
Nice.
And she's doing
Nice.
fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But because that's the thing. Like, I put my money where my mouth is compared to these people, in my opinion. Like, I see this weird thing. Like, all of a sudden, Ethan is on Peach Fit's like promotional stuff on his website,
Yeah.
and I mean, a few of his former clients have reached out to me and shared some stuff with me. Like, he doesn't even really run his own coaching. The Ryan guy, the one guy, the first Ethan, the guy that he was helping lose weight, like, he's
Mm-hmm.
one of his assistant coaches now. This dude weighs 350 fucking
If
pounds, and he's one of your assistant coaches.
AR,
So,
real quick, what do you think about these people that, like, I've seen it, like, where people be like, I lost 30 pounds and they're still big and they're like, click on my link to find out how you can do it. I'm like, you're not even done yet. Like, what are we doing?
I say this all the time. What makes me a very, very good coach, because I am, toot my horn, I'm a very, very good coach. It's not because I lost the weight, right? Like, my wife is my coach. She's the one that actually helped me lose weight. Like, just put it out there. That's not what makes me a good coach. Losing weight yourself does not make you a good coach for other people by any stretch of the imagination,
Tell me
right?
about it.
Because what works for me doesn't work for everybody. Like, I can just eat steak all fucking day long. I'm happy with it, right? I don't crave other shit. And like I'm lucky where and this is no shit. And I always say this to everybody. My wife and I are together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? Like I have built-in accountability 24 hours a day, 7 days a fucking week, right? Like I would like to think that I would be okay on my own if like I had to travel for work or whatever. But the one or two times I've had to travel for work, I just make sure I talk to her on the phone every free minute so I don't binge. Like
Mm-hmm.
because and I not with that I love her too, but of course, like that's the biggest reason why. But she's my accountability, like and she does a great job for me with that. So me losing the weight doesn't necessarily help me be a good coach. It gives me point of reference on what they go through, put it that way.
Right.
But coaching is a very individualized thing, right? That's why not one workout program is the same. That's why like we don't have assistant coaches. We did at one point in time, and we got rid of them because one, uh, the pandemic actually made our business contract, and we had to do the smart financial thing. And I'm always truthful about it. But two, we realized that like we're the business, her and I. Like it's our methods that we made, right?
Right.
So we individualize it for every single person. Like there are some people that we both coach, or some people that just I coach, or some people that just she coaches, because it works better for that person individually, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the same like we have clients everywhere from Russia and Singapore to
Nice.
Canada, Hawaii, like in the Virgin Islands, Colombia, a bunch of people, obviously a bunch of people in Canada and the United States, right? Ireland, like a bunch of places. We have clients all over the world. So we don't do cookie cutter like grocery lists or anything like that. We don't even give people grocery lists. We kind of just
Copy and
we have some
paste.
we have some people that do keto, some people that just do whole foods, some people that we kind of have on like on a travel thing because they travel for work, some people that are just straight carnivore. We've got some people that we try a bunch of different things for. The only real true thing that we do for everybody is we really insist that everybody stays properly hydrated because that's the best bang for your buck when it comes to weight loss. Most of America, most of the world, frankly, is chronically dehydrated. We get radically less than what we should. So we make sure they're properly hydrated, and we really, really, really focus on their sleep and their stress relief, as well as keeping the ultra processed foods out of their mouth. Like, because I mean, if you're eating 50% of your daily calories as ultra processed foods, you're going to be hungry all day.
That is, and let's talk about the nutrition, AR, because you like you said, you was in the healthcare industry, and you're really big on nutrition. Like, if I'm being honest, you should be the nutrition narc, not the one that we just saw give Ethan terrible fucking advice. But talk about nutrition. What are some of the things that you're seeing now, nutrition wise, that Americans, well, everybody really should start looking out for?
Well, I mean, America in general averages 60% to 70% of all their daily calories is ultra processed food. That's a
Mhm.
recipe for chronic illness. I mean, you can see it. Like as the prevalence of ultra processed foods keeps going up in our diet, so does chronic illness. Like I mean, there's a reason why 90% of our entire healthcare expenditure and healthcare burden on our resources is from chronic and mental illness. And it's our lifestyle, it's the way we eat. America is 4% of the population. We use 70% of the pharmaceuticals.
Wow.
Like everybody let that sink in for a second. We are 4% of the population. We use 70% of the daily pharmaceuticals. Right? That's a fucking wild, wild number that people just kind of look past, right? We're going to spend $6 trillion plus in America in total healthcare burden. That's insurance, out of pocket costs, and taxes, right? $6 trillion with a T, not a B.
It's a lot
Like
of
six
money.
trillion fucking dollars, right?
Yeah.
90% of that, and it's likely going to be higher. It's likely going to be 6.5, but I'm just kind of guessing low because it was like 5.7 last year. But we're probably going to spend over $6 trillion this year in shared healthcare burden, like all of us together, like all of our taxes. If you have insurance, your insurance rates are up because of this, right? 90% of that is from people that eat too much, drink too much, and smoke too much. Like people that lifestyle themselves into chronic illness, and the healthcare industry does not actually try to cure the chronic illness; they just try to manage the chronic illness, and that's an actual issue because what people like me and other people in the fitness industry and even the bad ones. I mean, I hate to even say this because I will say this right away. Like, uh, shit. Like the nutrition narc actually gives decent information, right? He just pandered to fucking Ethan, and I called him
Mhm.
on it. Like, and then I caught him lying, and then he tried to say a stupid thing, and I said, "You're just
Oh
lying
yeah, that
again."
was all time dumb. Yeah,
He,
yeah.
he was like, "Oh, you'll post anything." Like me, like I said, "You're lying again, you dumb fuck." He's one of those people that, I mean, I'm sure he's very smart when it comes to a few things, but he's not. He has very little critical thinking skills. But like he gives pretty good information. Fucking James Capola's wife gives fucking great fitness information. Like fucking great. James used to give
Cuckoo,
great information.
cuckoo.
I mean, like everybody in the fitness industry is a little crazy. Like it's not like I claim to be totally sane. I'm a fucking raving lunatic half the time. But like all these people are better than anybody in the body positivity movement. Like like
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
James,
Hey, yo,
Erica, all of them, all of them are better than that. V Shreds is better than V Shreds is vastly less dangerous for the population than Tess Holiday. Put it that way, you know.
um, because I really wanted to look this up because I thought I was saying something wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, and I'm trying to look it up now, body positivity was initially for people like people with missing limbs, burn victims, people with issues that they like, was beyond their control. And then for some reason, when did it switch? Was Lizzo like the switcher to make
No,
it?
no, no,
Where what
no, no, not even
happened?
close. Not even close. Like, uh, and I mean, you want my honest opinion?
Yes,
My
please.
my honest opinion is that the people that basically control what gets published decided that they were going to convince everybody that it was okay to be fat because it sells more complacency and it sells more pharma and food. Like when the vast majority of the advertising budget for every magazine, for every news outlet, for every media channel, when the vast majority of their ad revenue comes from big food and big pharma combined, when that makes up 75 to 85% of their ad revenue, those are the people that they're going to lean towards. And they're going to push McDonald's, especially because McDonald's then leads to you needing some sort of pharmaceutical medication normally. If you eat McDonald's every single day, there's some pharmaceuticals in your fucking future,
God,
straight up. And
oh,
so they did things like I think it was 2017 or 2018. They put Tess Holiday on the cover of Cosmo, right?
I remember
They,
that.
they convinced this 300 plus pound woman that she was a model, instead of just like a sideshow attraction. That's what it was. Like, and sometimes if she wasn't such an objectively horrible person for many many other things, I would feel bad for her. But very frankly, like they they used her as like this, like
Psyop.
they would literally would like wheel her out and like show her like, hey, we're really inclusive. We're really inclusive. Look at this, right? They never actually let her model anything, by the way. Like they never, like you will never see her on like the New York Fashion Week runway, like modeling clothes. The only time they ever let her walk on New York Fashion Week was when they put her in a dress that literally said sample size on it as a statement, right? And they started, and I understand the idea of representation in the modeling industry and even on TV and stuff like that, because like TV, I find it much more believable because as the population gets fatter, you want your daily TV to be more representative of what people can relate to, right?
Yes.
But but it's just gone so far. It's one thing to have somebody that's 20 or 30 pounds overweight and everybody knows them that they're overweight, but we have like people that are, I mean, I it's hard to recognize like how bad it's gotten for a lot of people. I don't know how old you are, but again, I'm only 55. Like
I'm 40.
I
I'll be
graduated,
44.
yeah. So I graduated high school with in a class of like 500 people. Like large class. Maybe two fat people in my class. Like a few football players had a little bit extra weight on them because they were linebackers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
One of our linemen had weight on him, like weight on him, but that's kind of sports specific. And we had one girl who, when you look back on it, all right, she had like, I mean, she had some facial hair going on, so there's obviously some hormonal issues going on with this poor girl, right? Like when you look back on it, but for the most part, like every male had abs. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
just about every male had abs, right? And now, like you look at society, and society is just fat. Like society is very very fat. Like I always bring up this thing. People hate BMI because the body mass index was created by a mathematician using white Anglo-Saxons from Europe, blah blah blah, and they have to say it's a racist origin, even though it's not.
Yes.
If that's
Everything's
ever if
racist.
Well, if that's the people he's around, that's the
Yeah,
people
I
that are going to
mean,
be in the fucking study.
so
It
would you
was in the
say it's a
1800s.
proximity? Would you say it's a
Yeah, it's a proximity
proximity?
thing. Yeah, I mean, like you guys just saying it's racist. Like the word racist means absolutely nothing anymore.
Oh yeah,
It
that
really
and
does.
anything
Yeah,
obic.
yeah, anything obic, yeah, or ist, fat, fat phobic or sexist or anything like that. But like so, and to be honest, BMI does have its limitations. Its limitations are more meant for people like me who have a decent amount of muscle mass, where I would register probably still as overweight by the BMI, by body mass index. But my waist to height ratio, like my waist is very small. I have a 28-inch waist, right?
Hmm.
So I don't use BMI in our coaching. Like my wife and I don't bother with it normally. We get their body weight, and that's how they tell progress, especially if they have hundreds of pounds to lose. Like let's get your weight every 2 weeks, and that's really the most we do it is every 2 weeks because frankly, if you're sticking to your habits, that will show a definite loss every single
Definitely.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and some people are like, "Oh, I need to weigh every day because I like the data." I have yet to see anybody that can like mentally wrap their head around like, okay, I gained 3 pounds today and not have it kind of wreck them a little bit because they gain 3 pounds from hydration, they get fucked up, right? But we use waist to height ratio because waist to height ratio is actually a metric that was created for health, and it is actually a much more predictive indicator of chronic illness development and longevity. So the way it works is you take your waist measurement right underneath your last rib. You take your waist measurement, and in the same units of measure, you divide it by your height measurement. Right? If it's under zero point 0.4, I would argue like you maybe need to like think about getting a little bit of muscle mass, or you might be an anomalous person that just has a very very thin waist. Normally a woman, right? Uh, but mine's like 0.43 right now, or 0.43, 0.44. If it's over zero point 0.5, if it's between zero point 0.5 and zero point 0.6, you might want to like think about like especially the composition of your food. Chances are you're eating a little bit more ultra processed food than what you need to or what would be normally good. We try to keep people under 10 to 20%. Like 20% is like the maximum we suggest anybody ever have it be, because, and I'll get to that in a second, but we try to shoot for 10% or less of ultra processed food in your diet, total calories of ultra processed food. So, and because they do, ultra processed foods do tend to lead to much more visceral obesity, which is like that stomach fat that's underneath,
Yeah.
it's inside, it's not
That
subcutaneous, it's
makes your
actually
belly
visceral, right?
super hard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's the shit that really kills you, right? And we use that as a much because it's a much greater predictor. There's a lot more data on it that shows that it's a great predictor. If it's above zero point 0.6, technically by it you're seen as obese and at high risk for development of chronic illness, short lifespan, mental illness, because the inflammation from obesity does tend to coincide with depression, anxiety, those sorts of things, right? Now, this is all like shit people don't like to hear, because while they'll complain about BMI, they don't like to hear that this is an actual health metric. But if it's above zero point 0.6, you're at pretty heightened risk. You should definitely take something seriously, because that means think about it. If you're say a 5'4" woman and you have a waist to height ratio of 0.6, that means that your waist is now 37 inches. 37-inch waist underneath the last rib. That means you have a pretty big belly as a woman. And sadly, that's the average American woman. The average American woman is 5'3.5" to 5'4" and has a waist to height ratio of 0.601. And the average male is 5'9", weighs about 200 pounds, and has a waist to height ratio of 0.5999, which rounded up is zero point 0.6. So the average American is viscerally obese. And that's very, very bad. And again, I talked about earlier, we eat about 60 to 70%. Not we, I don't, but America eats roughly about 60 to 70% of their food in ultra processed calories, right? And there's like tons of data. Like one of the ones I point to all the time is that there is a very large long-term study from Brazil that came out, I believe, in 2022, that showed that if a person eats 20% or more ultra processed food, like as a regular part of their diet every single day, and this was a pretty large cohort study. It was 6 to 10 years with a mean follow up of 8 years.
Hmm.
Like they showed like a 28% increased rate of cognitive decline, which is like your mental function, and
Yeah.
they showed a 25% increase of decline for executive function. Now, executive function is critical thinking, self-awareness, self-startedness, like self-accountability, those sorts of things. So the more ultra processed foods you eat, the less accountable you hold yourself, the less critical thinking you have, the less kind of brains you have. And again, that's 20%. We eat 60 to 70 in America. We feed our children eat 70% ultra processed foods, you know,
Oh, talk
and
about it.
that's just
Like the video where the woman, I know you've seen this. I think you did a video on it. Like she's like putting a whole bunch of dino nuggies and
yeah, yeah.
fries on a pan, and everybody's in the comment section like, well, she's a mother of 5. She can't just cook healthy food is
Michigan.
expensive. This, this,
No,
this,
it's not.
this, 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 this.
Beans and rice are cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, so they don't get to have anything special. No, I mean, like, how hard is this? Like, it's not special. Like they don't get, and I hear this all the time too. So they don't get to enjoy themselves. Poison, like like people. I always say this: people should think of ultra processed foods in the same way for nutrition as they think of alcohol for hydration. Right? It may look like water, but it's poisonous. It is
Yeah.
not good for you. That's another thing I do see that a lot on Instagram. People like, especially dietitians, which I can get to dietitians in a second, but like people are like ultra processed foods aren't that bad for you, seed oils this, seed oils that. Like, okay, you can say that, you can look at something in just just under a microscope, just the one thing, and you can say it's not bad for you, although the data is kind of is out, it's kind of conflictory. And I would argue that if the studies weren't being done on a skewed perspective, but paid for by the ultra processed food company, if they were just done, we might actually see a difference, because whenever the pharmaceutical industry or the big food industry can finance a study, we get things like people thinking that everybody needs statins when there's actually no evidence that high cholesterol leads to heart disease at all, and statins are actually kind of bad for you. But if we look at ultra processed food that way, and a lot of people on social media tend to be like, "There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it," but the data does fucking say different. Like, you can argue it all you want, but like, we have tons of data that show that over a long period of time, eating a predominance of ultra processed foods is extremely deleterious to the body. Like,
The
we
Twinkie
have tons of
defense.
data. Yeah, we have tons and tons and tons of data that show this, right? And you know, I just find it to be completely disingenuous by these people to take the stance of that. One, and the weird thing is they will get a lot of play. Like, you will see that their channels get a lot of play because they're defending ultra processed foods. And again, one more time, the advertisers and that shit, right? This
Mm-hmm.
happens a lot with dietitians, right? Dietitians basically they've been trying to wage a war on fitness influencers, on wellness influencers and stuff like that lately. Like, I went to school for X amount of years and I did this and I did that. And just for the record, I used to employ hundreds of dietitians when I worked in healthcare, like hundreds. Okay. And their accreditation agency, uh, Ascend. It's called Ascend. Yeah, Ascend is the agency, but they're the people that give dietitians in America their accreditation. They give them basically their license, right? And they're the ones that write the curriculum for their education. You can go to their website right now, and the people that sponsor Ascend are Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly, Big Food, the Confectioners Association. Past sponsors have been like Nestle's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola. This is who
Mm.
funds the accreditation agency and the agency that writes the curriculum for dietitians, ultra processed food companies and pharmaceutical companies. So when they're writing your curriculum and they're the ones that say that you're a professional, you're obviously going to be skewed. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
obviously going to be skewed towards them. So while dietitians don't like me saying, I have had dietitians even come at me for the shit I say, and whenever I say that, they just ghost, they disappear because there's no argument. It's literally on their fucking website. It's on Ascend's website that those are their sponsors. They legally have to put it. But I'm sorry, but if your education and the curriculum and the accreditation is sponsored by Eli Lilly, the Confectioners Association, and Novo Nordisk, companies like Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk make a drug to help you deal with diabetes that you get from the Confectioners Association, obesity that you get from the Confectioners Association. I'm going to argue that maybe we shouldn't be listening to your ass.
I mean,
You know?
I agree. It is definitely a conflict of interest. And one of the things about that I find weird about the food, like grocery stores and things of that nature, they it's like so let me use Wendy's for example. A $5
Mhm.
biggie bag. You get a double cheeseburger, nuggets, fries, and a soda for
Right?
what? $5, $6?
Yeah.
You eat that and then you're still incredibly hungry versus you go to the store and people still don't use the outside of the aisle because
Yeah.
on the inside of the aisle, you get what? The Oreos are 2 for $5. The
Yep.
cereal is 2 for $5. Like all the stuff, and bright lights. And if I'm not mistaken, Alan, I think you was the one that said this too. These companies pay for where the stuff is
Oh yeah.
placed on
Yeah.
shelves and stuff in the grocery
Yeah.
stores.
Absolutely. Yeah. They get, it's called preferential placement in the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
because if it's at eye level, like it's more likely to get purchased than it
Correct.
is if it's bent down, especially in America, because people don't bend down to pick up shit. It's just the truth. People don't bend down to pick up shit.
We pick up food we dropped on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, that's the fucked up thing. They really don't, and it's, I mean, that's not to knock on nobody. That's just true, like if, but it's when you look at the food industry in general, it's amazing to me how we don't view ultra processed foods how they actually are. We really should view them as like they're not really nutrition. They're for pleasure only. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell my clients that, like, I don't get me wrong. I will occasionally eat something ultra processed once a week or so. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes, like, either I make it or my wife makes it. Like, my wife will bake me a cake or some cupcakes or something like that once a week. It's normally done with like oat flour instead of regular white flour, and it's normally done with honey and like like actual local honey instead of sugar, stuff like that. Like, we swap some stuff out, but it's still ultra processed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really don't even do protein powder in it anymore, just because I try to keep as much ultra processing out of my system as possible. Now, mind you, I'm going to be 55. I am not even on TRT right now. I took about 6 months off TRT just to make sure that I could be off of it, just in case the world ended. So I am on no medications right now, like
Mm-hmm.
zero. The average 55-year-old male weighs like 245 pounds and is on like at least 3 or 4 medications, and
Yes.
that's just, to me, like, you know, I eat differently than you. I live differently than you. Therefore, and I don't. People can say like I work out for a living. I don't work out that much. I've been building an app for the last year. I work out, like, I still get activity in, but it's not like I've been crushing it in the gym at all lately. And to me, that's absolutely fine. It's not like I homestead, so it's not like we don't get plenty of activity. But I think that people need to understand that the way we eat is the actual health. Like, it, that's actual health care. Like, health care is like you preventing yourself from getting sick, or you curing yourself with food. Sick care is Lipitor. Sick care is statin. Sick care is metformin, like things like that. Like that's you maintaining your illness versus you trying to get healthy. You know.
Mm. Yeah, because I just see it as I I just it's like weight loss is one of those things where people do it and then they get the dopamine from people saying, "Wow, you look great." And then it's like they don't think about after effect. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now you've lost the 200. What's next? Okay, people are going to stop saying you look great. What's next? Okay, are you going to go back to eating? Are you the people that yo-yo that be like, I gained 40 pounds to show you that you can lose it within 4 months? I'm like, why are you
Can't
doing
stand
that?
that shit. That's dumb. Not only that, but like, it doesn't really, in reality, that doesn't actually do anything. Like, you're just showing people you changed habits, likely. And I understand that people may, like, I've known more than one person who's done that and then developed the problem with food anyway. But like, just because you gain 40 pounds in a couple months because you glutton yourself, you're basically just stopping something that you're not probably not even enjoying anyway. Like, that's the thing. Most people get, like, I tell you what, if you want to do that, like, for real, gain 15 pounds this year and do that every year for 5 or 6 years and then lose the weight. And then you tell me, okay?
Oh,
Because
I'm
that's the
good.
actual issue. Like, most people do not get fat in 6 months period of time. Like, if they do, it's normally because they've been through some sort of very serious and traumatic event and they're eating their feelings, right? Like, they've had the death of a loved one and then they for some reason turn to food and it's causing a dopamine trigger in their brain, and that's why they're just keeping going to the food, because they're just trying to, like, squish down anything that's going on. They maybe should have gotten some counseling, something like that, right? But normally people gain weight either from when they're very little, and now this is sad because this is actually a lot of people nowadays, but they're very little, their parents teach them very horrible habits, their parents are morbidly obese themselves, they eat pizza every other day instead of just like once a month, and they eat fast food fairly often. Like that's how you make a sick child, and then they become a sick adult. Like we have many people right now, like Ethan's in his early 20s, and Ethan weighs like supposedly weighed 660 pounds. Again, still not seen any proof, but like that's his parents' fault. Like I feel bad for Ethan because to a great degree that's his parents' fault. Like
Mm.
how you let your fucking child get to 400 pounds is fucking abuse, frankly. I mean, to have a child be 300 pounds, that's abusive. It
Mm-hmm.
just is. I'm sorry, and that upsets people. I'm not saying you're an abusive parent, but that is abuse, and you should fix that shit. If what I just said resonated with you to a point where it hurt your fucking fifis, it was meant to, and you should fix that shit. Like if your children are fat, that's a you problem, not a them problem. It's going to be a them problem, but you are the one giving them that problem. That is like a gift you're giving them. That's a horrible fucking mean ass gift. And if that hurts your feelings, me saying that, good, fucking fix it. But there's people that get fat that way. Like a 25-year-old person that already weighs 300 pounds and has been fat half their life expectancy is like 45. You know, like people need to recognize that because a lot of times it's not how fat a person gets; it's the duration of time that they're fat,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like when I was younger, older people would get fat. Like they said, well, you're getting old, so you're getting fat. So a lot of times obesity killed them, but it killed them in their early 70s, and people are like, wow, they died young, but they die in their early 70s because they're fat. But they've only been fat for about 15, 20 years, right? They
Mm-hmm.
only started getting fat when they were tired because they stopped with activity and they started eating more, right? Because bored. Now we've got people that have been fat for half their life by the time they're 25, right? So you add another 20 years onto that, 30 years onto that, their body's going to say, fuck it, right? Unless they fix it. So, but there's also the people that they get fat as they get older, like meaning they leave college, they're very active in college, they walk everywhere or anything like that. Or when you're younger, you just tend to be more active, right? So 21, 22, people start settling down. People either get married and whatever, or people like just kind of develop like slower lifestyle habits due to job, career, that sort of thing, right? So you're less active. So they gain 5, 10 pounds that year. They really don't notice. They don't think much of it. Their clothes still even fit right. But then they gain 5 to 10 pounds the next year. But they bought new clothes already because they don't really notice it either. But those clothes have worn out, so they buy new clothes, right? So now they're 15 to 20 pounds bigger than what they were 2 years before, and then so on and so forth. 10 years down the road, they're 75 to 100 pounds overweight, right? And now they're in fucking trouble because no matter what society has told us recently, being 50 pounds overweight is a fucking problem. Being 100 pounds overweight is a big fucking problem. Like if you're 100 pounds overweight, it's a big ass fucking problem. It is not like, it's not cute. It's not funny. You're not a girly. You don't just have a dad bod. You're fat as fuck and you need to do something about it
Yeah,
because it's going to
dad
kill you.
bods. That's another great lie that women are telling men. But then they'll show like a picture like Chris Hemsworth during his off season. I'm like, that's not a dad bod. Like it's, don't listen to people that say we like a dad bod. It's not true.
No, and I mean the thing is, it's like you have to wonder about anybody that it's one thing if you like, fuck, dude. I mean, I'd be the last one to say like when my wife met me, I wasn't like lean, but I was pretty lean. I worked out all the time, and I got fat. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never one day in my entire marriage ever felt that my wife didn't just love me to death. She's
Mm-hmm.
an amazing. I cannot even possibly tell anybody how lucky I am to be married this woman. But and it's a shock to me too. People, I'm sure people
When
are
you
like,
have
"How
a
can
good
you be?"
woman, sometimes it is a
Yeah,
shock to you as a man.
but,
Yes.
well, that and like, I'm known to be an asshole. So, but
No, you
but
no.
yeah, but but at the same time, like she loved me, but at the same time, I can't. I didn't find myself attractive. I certainly wouldn't imagine that she did.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a person, I'm sure she did, but as like physically, no, right? But you know, I I realized that she deserved better than what I was giving her, so I fucking changed that shit. Like I have this thing like 9 pounds when I'm 90. That everybody asks me my motivation, and I don't have motivation. I have dedication to 9 pounds when I'm 90. I want to be able to be 90 years old and hold a grandbaby or a great grandbaby in my hands and walk around with it without people being worried I'm going to drop that motherfucker. Right? Like
Nice.
I want to be able to dance with my wife on the beach at the baby's christening or whatever. I want to be 9 pounds when I'm 90. I want to be an active 90-year-old with my wife. I want to watch the
Nice.
sun go down over the Gulf of Mexico with my wife when I'm 90 years old.
Oh.
She deserves that, and I'm going to fucking give it to her, right?
Eh, eh.
And the problem is people don't see it like that, right? If you are looking for a man that has a dad bod, what is wrong with you? You are looking for somebody that is not physically well. Like and by dad bod standards now, like dad bod standards are a guy has a belly, meaning he's got a waist height ratio over 0.6, and frankly, that means he's unhealthy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, like I like thick girls. Oh, if you like a thick girl, meaning like you like a girl with a lot of muscle and her waist height ratio is still under 0.5, great. But if you like a thick girl because you like a girl with a belly, you're looking for somebody. You're looking, and that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But if that's what you're looking for in a partner, why are you looking for somebody that has hurt themselves enough with food to be unhealthy? Like society is very fucked up when it comes to this, and a lot of this, by the way, is not actually people. It's what the media tells us we want. It's what the media and social media tells people what they want. It's like right now, a lot of people on Instagram are talking about the skin, like the skinny epidemic, the skinny demic because of Ozempic. Let's be real. A lot of people have tried Ozempic. I think a lot less people have tried Ozempic and these GLP-1s than what they actually say. They're saying 1 in 8 people have tried them. I think that might be a little high. It's still a lot of people, no matter what. It really has. And I have nothing against people that necessarily want to use them as long as they want to use them on a short term. Long term, there's no data that says they're safe on a long term. None. Not at the actual dosages that are being used. No, there's no long term safety stuff on these dosages. But anyway, like they're calling it a skinny demic because look at Demi Moore and look at this person, look at that person. Demi Moore and like the Osborne chick and
Oh.
all the other ones that are super thin right now,
Oof.
they're doing this because their handlers, basically their agents, are guiding them to do so. Like
Oh.
it's weird how we're looking at these Hollywood people as if they're well-adjusted, normal people.
Yeah,
Like
like I don't
look,
understand that.
look what's happened to Demi Moore. Can you believe what happened to her? She's a fucking loon bag. Okay, I mean, like we all know, like she's been in Hollywood forever. Her life does not resemble yours at all whatsoever. Like whatsoever. Comparing what she's doing to herself when she has all the pressures of the Hollywood star and all that bullshit, that's insane. Especially, and it also drives me crazy that people talk about like people get mad at like men about the fashion industry. You can get mad at men for a lot of shit, especially men in our world today. Men in our world today are weak ass fucking pussies who would never fucking
Talk
a
about it.
lot of these they are just fucking disgustingly weak fucking human beings.
Talk about
They
it.
really are. If you're a dude out there, and I don't care what anybody says me about this. If you're a dude out there and you walk past another man hitting a woman and you don't do something, you are a fucking bitch. Like I saw like 10 videos about that today. You're a fucking bitch. I don't give a fuck if it's not your like saying it's not your business. Make it your fucking business. You're a man. You're supposed to stop that shit. But anyway, um, but they think like men do a lot of fucked up shit. Men don't decide fashion. Like
Nope.
men don't decide which body type is in right now. Okay, men normally have the same body type. Bikini contests have always been fucking popular. Like with men, always been popular with men. They don't decide, like men don't decide, like, hey, I want a really super skinny woman right now. That shit doesn't happen. That shit's decided by Hollywood, the fashion industry, all the fucking industries you guys look up to. That's decided by that shit. It's the same thing like makeup. Like I encourage my wife never to wear makeup. I really do.
Same.
She wears it for the camera sometimes, and I understand. Or to go out, like I understand. But I also am very proud of her because when she does wear it, it's very minimally processed stuff, like as natural as possible, right? But she does not wear makeup on a daily basis by any stretch of imagination. And do you know why I encourage that, ladies? Because it's poison. Like you're literally putting toxins on your fucking skin, and your skin is an organ that absorbs that shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and guess who told you to wear all that shit? The fashion industry in Hollywood, not men,
They
not
they
men.
may be looking totally different, man. It like when they take it off, it's like a totally different person. So it's like, yeah.
Well, it also goes to like you see a lot of that in the fat acceptance women, where they'll be like, you can call me fat, but you can't. And they'll like wave their hand, but you can't call me ugly, and they've got like
Face
five
card
pounds.
never declined. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but they've got like 5 pounds of makeup on. Like, do you want me to go there?
I just that's why gifts is the best thing that happens to Instagram. So I just respond with a gift. and you figure out what I'm saying with that gift, because I
Yeah,
just don't know what's going on. But
right.
AR, so tell everybody, if you used to give people one fashion tip, because we just
Fashion.
brought
I'm
about
the
fashion.
last person, buddy. I am the
If you
last
can give
person.
somebody, let's say somebody right now is looking at this broadcast and they want to start a fat loss journey,
Mhm.
plug in you and your lovely wife's app and everything. With that being said, but what's the one thing you would tell them that they need to take from day one to day 200? What's the one thing that you would tell somebody on a fat loss journey?
Get yourself properly hydrated is the absolute first one. I know that sounds fucked up, but most people are radically dehydrated. You should try to take in an ounce of fluid per pound of your ideal body mass. Our app actually, and again, you can get the Hunger Free and Happy app on Google Store. Thank you for letting me plug it. And soon to be on iOS. If you are, we do have a web version of it too, but it will figure that out for you. But an ounce of fluid per pound of your ideal body mass, that is like kind of what all the literature shows. We say ideal body mass because if you weigh 400 pounds, I don't want you taking in 400 ounces of fluid. It will be rough on your kidneys, but
Mhm.
you probably should be taking in somewhere around 170 some ounces. Like just about every man should be taking in about 160 to 175 ounces of fluid at a minimum, right? If you're taller, even more. But that is the absolute one. Try to get 75% of that in before your midday. That way, you're not disrupting your sleep. Like if you get, like I try to get like a gallon in before midday, and then I try to get another 50 ounces in by the rest of the day. And we have a portion size drill that I take about 20 ounces of that for too, also. But my cat's trying to
I
ring the bell to
know.
go outside. But but my wife trained him how to ring a bell if I could go outside. It's
That's
wild.
nice.
But anyway,
We're about to finish. We're about to finish up, baby. Hold on.
yeah, we're almost done. But try to get 75% of that in before midday. That way you'll only have a little bit more to go the second half of the day, and that way you're not drinking too much. Stop it!
He wasn't going
knock,
outside.
knock
This
that
is
off.
this is great.
But you're embarrassing me. Well, anyway, but that way it's not disrupting your sleep, because if you drink too much right before you go to sleep, it's going to disrupt your sleep. Sleep is also a massively important thing when it comes to weight loss. And the second most important thing I would honestly say is try to just minimize your ultra processed foods. That's actually going to be the hardest one. Most people are much more addicted to that stuff than they realize. And I have this little thing, it's called 15 days to slow the spread of your ass. Um, so for 15 days, try to eat no processed sugar or any ultra processed foods at all. Try just whole foods, vegetables, beef, fish, that sort of thing. Olive oil is fine. No ultra processed foods at all. If you cannot go 15 days without eating ultra processed foods or processed sugar, you have to ask yourself two questions. Is it a matter of convenience? Is your life set up to have so much convenience in it that you can't avoid ultra processed foods? In which case, you do some time management and you try to figure that out. And the second one is, if you can't avoid that shit because that shit's just calling you, which is going to be the vast majority of people, they don't realize it. But then you should realize that you have some sort of addictive problem with these foods. And I would argue that a huge portion of society has some sort of addiction that they don't even realize to sugar and or ultra processed foods, because that is always the problem. My wife and I ran a survey on all of our social media a couple years ago. Got like 17,000 respondents, and the top binged upon foods were bread, cheese, pizza, and ice cream, all ultra processed foods, right? And people just don't realize how big of a problem they have with this. We'll tell people like, "Hey, quit sugar for 2 weeks," and they're like, "Oh my fucking god!" They get headaches, like actual withdrawal symptoms. So those would be the two things. But the first one is hydration. It's the best bang for your buck. If you're properly hydrated, you're not going to be nearly as hungry. It's going to lower your cortisol levels. Oftentimes, it helps with your skin. It helps with your sleep, and it helps keep you nice and satiated and full because it fills your stomach up. Oftentimes, when people wake up first thing in the morning, they've been in bed for 8 to 10 hours and haven't drank anything. So you are actually classically dehydrated in the morning. And then the problem is, instead of drinking a bunch of fluid, like
Coffee.
I normally tell people to start the day off with 20 to 30 ounces of fluid. And that way, that way you actually get your hydration first. And then you wait about 20 or 30 minutes to see if you're even hungry. A lot of times people eat their thirst, meaning they wake up and they immediately think they're hungry and they eat a bunch of food when actually you're actually dehydrated and you should get that food in you. Chances are you're not
Nice.
hungry, especially if you were decently fed the day before, because honestly, your body just spent 8 to 10 hours processing all the food out. Your liver is full of glucose. Your blood is, so your muscles, so you have plenty of energy. You're not actually that hungry. You're just thirsty.
Boom. Drink water. So, AR, tell people where they can find you on social media.
I am for a while. They'll still allow me to be on there. I'm at Alan Roberts on YouTube. I'm also at Alan Roberts on X. And I am on at the MFing COO. It's the MFING COO on both Instagram and on Facebook.
Nice. So everybody, please make sure you follow Alan. I'm telling you, he really cares about this. He's passionate about it. And unlike a lot of these coaches out here, when you get on these calls, it's him and it's his wife. It's not an assistant, it's not a copy and paste plan and stuff like this. These guys have been doing it for a long time and they've helped thousands and thousands of people. So please look them up. And I'm not gonna endorse anybody that I don't believe in. I believe in this man and his wife and what they're doing and how they are impacting lives. Y'all know about me already. I was 310 pounds in 2019. I'm now at 180. I still have some time. I still have some stuff to go, but Alan and his wife and other fitness influencers that are about accountability. These are the people that keep me going. These are the people that hold me accountable, along with friends and family that know my journey and they want to see me succeed. So make sure you surround yourself with good people. That's it. Like
Thank you much, man.
we thank you so much, AR, for doing this. And I hope you're not a stranger to it. We can do this again.
I'd love to.
Yeah. And yes, because I have to the cat is ready. The cat is ringing the bell. I have never seen anything like that before. This is great. So I will see you guys I'll see you guys tomorrow. We have an episode that I know AR is definitely going to like. We're going to talk about the pandering and the simp economy of the men, what happened to masculinity, and why are we letting women dictate how we do things now. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that episode. I got AJ's Rant Room with me. So with that being said, please drink water, less processed food, take care of your metabolic health, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Outstanding. Thank you much, man.
No problem.
Come through. Real time. Real time. Real time. Real time. Real time. Real time. Prince Blue. Real time. Real time. Real time.